Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. This video is really geared towards and directed towards newcomers to compact discs. So if you are like me, a child of the 80s and 90s, and you grew up with CDs, you already know this. You're self-taught, as am I. But if you're not, you are new to the hobby of compact discs, this is for you. Now, this show is about replacing a CD case, which we'll do in a minute. But before I do that, I wanted to, just because it's sort of on topic, show you these 3 new CD players that I just got from a friend who gifted them to me. They are all this is early 90s, mid 90s, very early 2000s. And I just thought I would show them because if you are interested in this video, you're probably interested in CD players. This is a D121, 1993. And this is the model that precedes my precious D131, which was my CD player growing up in my formative compact disc years. This is a 1996 D242CK. CK stands for car kit. And all of these need to be cleaned. They are all tested, but they need to be cleaned. And I can't wait to have them in my collection. This is a bit of a higher end model. This is a very, very entry level model. And then this from about 2001, you can see that Sony dropped the Discman moniker in favor of Walkman. So these were the CD Walkmans at this point. So this has a lot of anti-skip protection, aluminum lid, very, very nice. But that's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about CDs, specifically CD cases and how you can easily replace them. So it is not uncommon to get a CD with a crack in it like this. This one also looks a little grungy to me, but the CD itself is definitely worth salvaging. So I'm going to do a swap for a donor CD, kind of hate that term, but a CD that we're going to replace the case on, swap them out. One that I don't mind having a crack in it, whereas this, I kind of want it to be pristine. So we're going to talk about that. Before we do that, though, I want to talk about the different types of CD cases. And again, this is geared to people that have never heard any of this stuff and didn't grow up with it. So CDs are often found in this type of a case, which is called a jewel case. And it is what it is. It's a jewel case. Very brilliant design, by the way. Even people that grew up with this may not realize this, but if you notice in the middle there, this hub area, it's raised. And as long as you are somewhat conscious about putting the disc down, it's designed so that the playing surface never touches or scratches on anything. In fact, if you hold it like this, you can see that it's actually raised up and not touching the surface, even when it's in the case. The good thing about digipacks, we're going to get to that in a minute. The good thing about jewel cases is they are very serviceable. And the older ones, some of them don't have a clear area right here. It's just gray plastic, but the principles that we're going to talk about applies to all of them. More modern CDs, didn't mean to make this all about Star Wars, use this type of a case called a digipack. Digipacks are cool, and sometimes they can have 2 CDs, and the surface of the disc is also a raised hub, and the telltale signs of this design of the finger grabs around the edge there. There's a little slot for a booklet, and they work fine. They're cardboard, and they're thinner than a regular jewel case, a little bit, maybe a hair, depending. They're not you can't service this. This is not a serviceable case. So if it breaks, if there's a problem with those little spindle fingers, those little things pop off, or there's damage, you're kind of out of luck. Although these newer ones are better. They're more solid than these older style that just have these molded fingers kind of reaching. Even this one's a little bit elevated, but if those break off and it doesn't hold the disc on a digipack, you're kind of screwed. There's not much you can do. And a lot of new CDs are coming. Here's one that's still sealed, still come with a digipack. This one, as you can see, is indeed thinner. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're talking about replacing and exchanging one jewel case for another. I have to mention these are slimline jewel cases. It's the same basic premise. There's a lot less to it, but you can still do some work to take these apart as well, following similar methods, but Yeah. And I have to talk about a double disc jewel case. This is what it looks like, Beatles' White Album. And when I talked earlier about this section right here being clear, it's sort of a newer version. The originals look like this. So you're going to find a lot of CDs that have this plastic, and the tray itself won't be clear. It will have this. This double jewel case is just like it sounds. It's a double of the tray on both sides. And sometimes there are spindles in the middle to hold discs. This one is designed to hold 3, so nothing on this side, which is why the pamphlet goes right there. But on this side, there's a spindle here and here, as you can see. Also designed to keep the disc elevated. The original jewel cases, they love to put the compact disc logo everywhere. Digital, audio. And you don't see that anymore because that's a licensed entity. They don't do that anymore. So you won't see equipment or discs. Well, discs more so, but you won't see equipment with that logo on it anymore. So the principles that we're going to talk about today apply to these double discs as well. Eventually, they discovered that it was not hard to put 2 CDs in a single jewel case. This is not, I should have brought one with me, but basically what they can do is this can lift up and there can be a disc underneath there as well. This is cool. I can't wait to listen to this. This is also given to me with the CD players we were looking at earlier. Okay, so I want to replace this cracked and somewhat faded and scratched jewel case for this one right here, which is pristine. Not that I don't appreciate this music. I love classical music, 100%, but I'm okay with this one having the case that isn't perfect, whereas this one I want it to be the perfect case. Okay, 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes into the video, and we're now finally starting the tutorial. So if anybody wants to put the timestamp in the comments like they often do, that is okay. So to replace a jewel case, obviously take the disc out. I just put it upside down. It's the easiest way to keep it from getting scratched. The pamphlet, and then you are left with this. Now you may be saying, what about the artwork there and the paper? We'll get to that as well. Now, the hype sticker, we're going to have to sacrifice that hype sticker. So unfortunately, it's going. But as you can see, the cover on this thing is just gnarly. The way you're going to do this is you're going to gently pry back these hinges right here where the plastic overlaps right there. Be very careful because this plastic is sort of, I don't know if I think it's a polycarbonate or a polycarbonate type of plastic. Very brittle. It doesn't bend very well. It just snaps. As you can see, that's why it cracks so easily. But if you are gentle, you can do this without causing any damage, but just don't pull back too hard. What you're going to want to do is get your fingernail or some point of leverage under there a little bit. Just lift up just a hair and then move it out of the way. And basically, you can kind of work the other one off when you do that. So there's a little nub right there, and that simply holds that on. So you want to keep this one intact. CDs do not survive falls. So the cases, I should say. So if you drop a CD, which I do all the time, it is rare that you won't bust off one of these or something bad will happen. They're just not designed for impact. They're designed for, keeping dust and scratches off your records when it's on the shelf. Now this part's a little more tricky, but it's not impossible. Again, be careful. There are 2 pieces to this back side of the CD case itself. Now there's 2 ways to go about this. You kind of have to gently pull back on the outer shell and separating the inner shell. You can get leverage right here in the middle, as you can see there a little bit, and then you can sort of work your fingernail along the edge until you get more leverage and just sort of do that going around like that. Or you can pull back up here to get the same effect. So we're going to gently pull up, and then that will separate it. Be very careful. You don't want to just yank it off. And then that separates the tray piece and the back piece. All that so we can save this the sheet. Now on a CD that doesn't have, I can't believe I didn't bring one to show. On a CD that doesn't have a clear tray, the kind that, like this, I guess this is a good example. Like this, there's no artwork under there. Or I should say there's a single-sided artwork that you see on the back cover, but there's nothing under here. So if you transfer a CD from a case with a solid tray to a clear one, just be advised it'll be white, no big deal. But on these clear ones, obviously to have the artwork, you want to save that. So even though the CD case itself wasn't looking so hot. The paperwork and the disc are fine. So we're going to set that aside. And we're going to do the same thing here. Be maybe a little more careful with the donor, because this is the one that we're trying to save. This is the case we're trying to save. Oh yeah, this might as well mention it. So this is a common thing. You pull on the liner notes and it doesn't come past this there's a little lip they put in here to keep the liner notes from sliding out. And some people will get their fingernail over the back side and slide it out. You can see there's these 4 little lips here designed to keep the artwork in place. Just be careful when you do that, because sometimes you can cause some slight damage to the paperwork itself. Look how much better that looks. That's a nice one there. CD as well. I love these CDs that have the aluminum all the way to the hub. I'm going to set that aside. And you don't even really have to separate the lid like I did before, so we'll try to do this one without that. My preferred method is to go in from up here. So it seems to be a little bit more sturdy doing it that way versus trying to work on the corner. But just gently work it off. It's designed to come apart. And then we are kind of back to square one. So now we can put the artwork from the one that we had out earlier and just gently place this over the top, push down on all 4 corners. It snaps very satisfyingly. Make sure that the paper is in the correct position. It's not unheard of to have it kind of fold under. So just make sure you get it right. And that looks good. And we can slide in the liner notes like this. Make sure that they're under all of those tabs there. Everybody, I'm just smiling. Everybody that grew up doing this is, you ever seen the GIF with Michael Jackson eating popcorn at the theater? They'll know this stuff. So the CD isn't closing quite right. You're like, what's wrong? Oftentimes it was this. And we're all guilty of this one, where you bend the liner notes to get it under the edge there. And then the disc itself goes right back into this. Now, they're also the veterans among us. Look at that. Doesn't that look better? Easy to do. And if you've got a junk CD playing around, then not that this is junk, this is actually very, very good music. But if you have something you don't mind donating for this purpose, it's a good upgrade, something you can do to really improve the visual appearance. And I'm more likely to grab a CD that's in good condition. I don't know if that's just me, but if it looks grungy and dirty and cracked up, I'm more likely to want to listen to it and use it. And, the donor CD won't mind. It's probably been sitting on your shelf for 10 years unused, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and put the other one back together. I was going to say the veterans are also, right about now, just shell-shocked that I could do now 13 minutes talking about this. I've got a strange gift for just talking in general. Not that it's good, just that I do it a lot. All right, I'm putting this back on. If you do take these off, again, the same process in reverse. You work the first one into position and then very, very gently stretch the other one into position. And sometimes you need to move it a little bit to get it into place, because like you saw, there's a little nub on these tabs and a little hole there. And then we slide the artwork back in here, put it back on the shelf to not be heard for another 10 years. Or hopefully you're like, you know what, I'm going to give Barber Adiago for String Violin Concerto a listen. And come to find out, this is the new one, and now this becomes the donor. I don't think anybody would use Johnny Cash as a donor. And like I said, digipacks, very cool, but you can't do anything with them. There's no serviceability here. That being said, I've never had a digipack go bad on me. I've never had it crack, and maybe that's just because they're newer. Slimline cases, there's a couple different types. This one is all one unit. There's nothing you can do besides pull these tabs off and replace the lid or whatnot. But this back tray piece is all one solid piece. They do have some slim lines that have the same basic construction as a jewel case, where you could pry that up if you wanted to. But there you go. More than you ever wanted to know about CD cases. And hopefully this has been helpful for the newcomers to the hobby. Welcome to Compact Discs. Hopefully you're discovering why we were so excited to trade in our cassettes for this pure digital audio. And still to this day, it's a lossless digital format that you own. You own digital audio with CDs. And I want you to stop and think for a minute. How many other digital audio formats can you physically own? Not too many. All right, my friends, that is going to do it. 15 minutes on CD cases. That's got to be worth some sort of record. My friends, that's going to do it for today's Happy Record Hunting, and we'll see you next time.